fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. Says he can fix it.
Walking down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I move to the music. Step to the beat, I woke today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right aside with my guitar in my hands, and the dogs became alive. The sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled down the campus.
All right, sometimes you just got to get off the escalator, right? Okay, so as far as belongings, please do not touch anyone else's belongings, any other students, and especially don't touch my stuff. That includes computers, the laser, clicker, anything, projectors. Don't touch it if it's not yours. Assigned seating. Make sure that you're always in your assigned seat. You know, I have students sometimes that they see an empty seat either in front of them or behind them or beside them, and they take it upon themselves to go ahead and move. You can't do that, okay? I check my seating chart every day, and I expect you to be in your assigned seat unless I gave you specific permission. Sometimes I will change seating throughout the year, so you have to wait until then. Don't walk up, hey, can I change seats today, Mr. Briggs? There have been some situations in which I did that, but most situations I don't do that for. Don't be tardy to class. There is the tardy policy here at the high school. If you're tardy, then you have to go get a slip before when that tardy bell rings. I close the door, and there's a little picture, and I'm not going to open the door unless you have a tardy slip. So you'll go down to one of the right here next to closest to me is the assistant principal, Mr. Hadnot. You can pick up a tardy slip, and that will get you into class unless you have some type of note from a teacher. Remember the tardy policies. After you get a certain amount of tardies, then it starts counting against you. You can end up with after school detention, ISS, and I believe even all the way up to DAP. All right, now I ran lots of little rules by you. Okay, now the big question is, what happens if you do not follow these rules? What is the procedure? Okay. So here's what I do. I use a what they call a tracking form. Now, the administration here tells us that we should use this. And so this is what happens. On your first offense, okay, whether that be you said a curse word, okay, maybe you stomped your toe, I gave you a warning for that, all right. You threw something in my classroom. You were out of your assigned seat. You were sleeping. There's lots of things that would go on the tracking form. Okay, I give you a verbal warning, and then I'm going to document it right here, and then you're going to sign it. All right. The second offense, notice how you will get a documentation in this area. You'll sign it right here, and then I contact your parent. The third offense, these can all be different offenses, same thing, okay? You're going to get a parent contact. You'll sign this form. But notice on the fourth one, that's when you're referred to the principal. And what I do is I take a picture of this, I send it by email so they have all the documentation so it can justify the punishment that they give you. These are for little things, okay? The big things that are a lot bigger than that. Maybe you cursed the teacher out, you said a bad word to a student, lots of different things, you got in a fight. All these things go directly to the AP's office. I don't use this form at all for that kind of stuff, so keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about the cell phones specifically. and this also applies really to your headphones as well. So the cell phones, your first offense, and this is in my class. Now other teachers, we have a right to take your cell phone right when we see it, when you don't have permission to be on it. But for my class, the first offense, I will put it right here on the tracking form. Now, if it happens to be your fourth offense, it'll be a write-up, okay? But if it's like, say, your first or second or third, it just goes on the tracking form. I document it saying that I took your cell phone. Second offense, I take it to the office, okay? So if I see on my documentation that I have got you before for a cell phone, I go ahead and take it, I lock it up, and then I will take it to the office, when I get a chance to, with your name on it, and then you have to go and you have to pick it up, pay $15, okay? I think the second offense, your parent has to come pick it up. So keep that in mind. So please don't be on your cell phones during my class unless you've been given permission. We're using it for technology purposes. The headphones we can also use for technology, but it can only be used for technology, and I have to have approval, prior approval from the administration to be able to use headphones in the classroom. Let's see here. So cell phones, one thing I'll say is sometimes I do get students that when I get on them for their cell phones, or I'm going to take their cell phone, they're like, Mr. Briggs, I was just, I was talking to, I had to send my mom a message, it was important. Or my mom called me, I had to answer it, or something like that. I'm sorry, right? I still have to take your cell phone. Your parents should also know the rules. I've had people cry and beg, and please don't take my phone, but I have to treat everybody fairly, and so I have to take the phone. I have to do it to everybody, okay? Sometimes if you ask me, can I send a message to my mom real quick? She has to pick me up after school, I usually will grant permission for you to send a quick message, but you must have that permission first, okay? If you don't have it, you should not be touching your cell phone. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I need to say about that. I don't believe so. This tracking form, I do keep it, and I keep up with it, and so I'm pretty strict with that. Again, this anything and everything can be on the tracking form. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is sometimes I have students who say, Mr. Briggs, you're supposed to do this, or you're supposed to do that, or you can't have a drink, or you can't have food. I normally don't try to eat right in front of the students here, knowing the rules, but do realize that I am, first off, your student, and this is not to put you any lower than me, okay? We are the same human beings, but I have graduated. I graduated college, okay? I have a degree. I also have an employee handbook that I must follow. Someday when you get a job, you're also going to have a handbook, okay, from, wherever that may be. If they tell you can't wear, this clothing to work and you wear it, they're going to call you in and they're going to give you a little verbal warning, make you sign something, kind of like the tracking form. This does apply to real life. If you do it again, they're going to make you sign, and then usually the third time, you will be terminated from that job. So anyways, I have certain things that I have to follow, rules, the way that I have to dress, and things like that. So just realize that you have a handbook, and I have a handbook. Whatever my handbook says, the district wants me to do, I have to follow. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Anyways, that is pretty much it for my presentation. And just wanted to remind you there is a oops, turn myself off there. There is a form that is attached to your syllabus that you need to turn in. It is your very first grade, so it's basically just a contract that has to do with the tracking form the procedure that I follow for discipline that I explained. So please make sure that you get that signed by your parent. You sign it, and then you turn it in so that you can get an easy grade. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Look forward to teaching you.